Hello everyone. Today is construction day 58 and I'm going to do a walk and talk as I'm heading up to the work site. So you probably saw today's thumbnail. It's titled Our First Encounter with the Philippine Police. When we left here yesterday, remember I said we're going to leave early and we're going to head back to Dumaguete to look for the pool tile. So as we were heading that way, there was a checkpoint. So to go backwards a little bit, we've been here about 14 months in total here in the Philippines. 10 months in Leyte and almost 4 months here in Negros Oriental. And Wilma and I have encountered many checkpoints. Not so much in Leyte, quite a few here. But whenever they see me, I guess, as a foreigner, I don't know. I'm just guessing. They always wave us by. So I would say in the 10 months we're in Leyte, I drove through maybe 20 checkpoints in 10 months, and 20 for 20 just waved us through. And they were stopping, a lot of people, but just not Wilma and I. So same thing here. We've been here for 4 months, been through checkpoints, a lot from Bacong to Dowan, that stretch between those two municipals. And I would say we've been here almost 4 months, maybe 15 checkpoints we've been through, and they always wave us through. Not yesterday. So we left here, I think it was about 11 a.m. We had about a 35-minute ride to go to the other side of Dumaguete to look for tile. And we were heading that stretch between Dowan and Bacong, and there was a checkpoint. So, we drove up to it. I'm assuming that, they're just going to wave us through. Not this time. So, there wasn't much traffic on the road, so I'm assuming or guessing that that's the reason why I was pulled over. There was probably 6 or 7 officers from the LTO and 2 or 3 from the PNP, the Philippine National Police, who were carrying M16s. So as I'm getting closer, one officer starts walking out towards me and pointing at me, telling me to pull over. So I said, oh, okay, here's our first encounter. So very nice gentleman. He said, in English, sir, can I see your driver's license? So he said, no problem. So I shut the bike off. And typically what I do in the States is, I'm wearing a mask, so I took the mask off. I had sunglasses on, took the sunglasses off so he could see my face. And I said, my driver's license is in the trunk in the back. So he hopped off and opened up the trunk and pulled out my Philippine driver's license. And I handed it to him, and Wilma said the same thing. He looked shocked. He looked at it, he looked at me, and he said, oh, you have a Philippine driver's license? And I said, yes, sir. And that's all he said. He looked it over. At that time, another LTO officer approached with a cell phone and started filming us. So I'm assuming that's, normal procedure for the LTO. Not exactly sure, I've never been pulled over before. But it was an officer that started filming. So he was looking over the license and, looked it over for maybe, 10, 15 seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're, first encounter with a foreign country's police, you're like, I wonder why he's looking at it so closely. So maybe he was looking for the address or, looking for expiration date. Not sure. Never asked my name. My photo is on the license, and then that's why I took my sunglasses off and took my mask off so he could see my face. I had a helmet on, so I did not take that off. And it's just, a half helmet. But he just looked it over about 10, 15 seconds and handed me the license and said, have a nice day. Never asked for registration. or anything. Just wanted to see the fact that I had a valid driver's license. So the encounter was very benign, very easy. He was very nice. Afterwards, I said to Wilma, did he seem surprised to you? Because he did to me that I had a Philippine driver's license. And Wilma said, absolutely. She said, his face like was shocked. And I said, well, that's what I saw too. So, you know, I'm not sure if a lot of foreigners here have their own Philippine driver's license or not. I assume they do. But again, that was our first encounter. So another a piece of information I think it's kind of funny is, you know, we come up on checkpoints, like I said, quite a few times. And so many people, when they see a checkpoint, they just simply pull over on the road in eye shot of the police, and they just sit there and they just wait it out. You know, I would love to go up to the police and say, you know, if you're looking for violators, how about you just look right over there? You know, there's 25 guys with scooters pulled over alongside of the road, just waiting for you guys to leave. You guys don't see them, I can see them. But obviously I wouldn't do that. But you see that all the time. What the police here do as well, and I've seen this in Dumaguete, is they drive around in a truck with about, you know, 6-8 officers in the back with, you know, with their signs saying checkpoint. And they'll just stop alongside of the road, all of a sudden jump out, put a checkpoint sign up and start checking people right away. So I guess call that like a sneak attack. And you see people doing U-turns and, you know, quickly trying to get out of the way, to go the other way. And I've never seen the police chase them down or anything. They just check the ones that drive through. Is that their protocol? Is that their procedure? Is that the law? You know, not sure. But you see it all the time. If you're driving down the road and all of a sudden you see, you know, 20, 30, 40. In Leyte, sometimes it was like 70, 80 scooters parked alongside a road. All of a sudden you say to yourself, okay, there's a checkpoint up ahead. You just knew it. But yeah, that was our first encounter. Very benign. The officers were very nice. They just was checking for a driver's license. Once they saw that, you know, my driver's license is valid in the Philippines, he just handed it back and said, have a nice day. And that was it. So pretty easy go of it. So today, big day for us, for Wilma and I. We found pool tile. And we're getting a lesson here. I talked about when you see it, buy it. I mentioned that yesterday, so that's true. So I talked to the contractor today and said, hey, we found our tile. You got to get there and get a down payment on it right away. He said he would, but I'll do that follow-up. But what I found out here, because we found 2 additional stores yesterday. So I think all total, about 6 or 7 different tile stores we've been to. And all of them has been basically trying to sell us bathroom tile. And I've been asking as I'm getting educated, basically saying, is this indoor tile or is this outdoor tile? And actually one of our subscribers said that he's a landscaper for years, did pools. And he said to me, make sure you ask that question, because you don't want to take indoor tile like bathroom tile and put it outdoors with all the, you know, the sun and the chemicals of the pool water. I'm like, well, that's really good advice. I wouldn't have thought of that. And again, you walk in, you know, to a tile store here and say, I'd like to see your selection of pool tile. They walk over and show you bathroom tile. So if you're not knowledgeable enough, you could make that mistake, because you asked for pool tile and they brought you over there and they showed you, in their mind, pool tile. That's what people use here. But we went to this one store, Triumph Home Depot, and I said I want to see pool tile, and I was looking at some other different tile, and I said, no sir, that's bathroom tile. And I'm like, well, you're the very first salesman to tell us that. So he gave us a little education, and he showed us the thickness difference between pool tile and bathroom tile. and the weight difference, and it's pretty substantial. So shout out and thank you to Triumph Home Depot in Dumaguete City, out past the airport, heading towards Sibulon, for giving me that education, and then for you guys as well. The tile that we picked is from Thailand, and they had about 4 or 5 choices. So we picked the main tile as well as the accent coping tile. And we've made a couple changes to how we're going to approach the pool, and we're going to show you that once we get up to the site. So that's the update for today, and we'll see you up at the work site. Okay, today's pool update. So here is the tile that we chose, the 2 types. And remember, like I said in the opening, pool tile was very difficult to find, and this is actually pool tile. So right off the bat, the thickness. So here's the thickness of my thumb. You can see it's very thick. So we saw a bathroom tile from China and bathroom tile that was manufactured in the Philippines. And then this one store had this pool tile from Thailand. The Chinese tile was extremely thin and light. The Philippine tile was thicker. But again, not as thick as this. And then this is much heavier. It's a very heavy tile, and what the guy was saying, it has it can stand up to UV of the sun as well as the chemicals. So I think that's important for me to call that out to anyone who is looking to buy tile here in the Philippines. The salespeople will steer you and say, yes, this is pool tile, when it's actually inside bathroom tile. Now, obviously, I'm not a tile expert, but you know, you would imagine that you know, buying the right type of tile would be important. Fading, you know, possible failure, you know, being out in the sun all the time and dealing with the harsh chemicals. But yeah, this is what we chose. So it'll be a solid blue on the bottom of the pool and the sides. This will be our coping tile, and yes, it'll be a little slippery, but you know, we'll get past that. We just won't slip. And so this will be the coping tile. Now what they'll also do is the coping will come down 4 inches. So we will be taking this tile every 4 blocks and cutting it here at this grout line to make 3 pieces that are 4 tiles high. And that'll be the end cap. So basically a 4-inch piece of tile will be under this as a reveal, going outside the coping all the way around. And then we'll have either dirt and grass come up on the backside, or here in the front it would be concrete that would be 4 inches down, because you don't want the concrete of your patio to be the same height as the coping, because if there's heavy rain, the water can run right into your pool. So that's why the coping will be 4 inches thick, and the concrete will run to 4 inches below to give that cushion, so if there is a lot of rain, the rainwater doesn't run into the pool. So this is 30 centimeter by 30 centimeter. So you can see the coping here is 30. So it will be 1 tile, and then it'll be another tile coming out. So there'll be 2 tiles here for the coping, and then the 4-inch drop will be out here, the 4-inch drop of this tile around the top. Then, like I said, the blue tile we're going to have throughout the whole pool, floor and walls, except for 2 areas. There'll be 1 row of this tile, the second course down. So right at the top of the pool, we'll have one of these. And then right below it will be one of these, going all the way around the perimeter of the pool, if that makes sense. Then on top of that, to break up the floor, we're going to go 4 tiles in. The 4th tile will be a row of this as a rectangle in the pool. So if that makes sense to you. So 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles in. There'll be a row of that mosaic to go down. 4 tiles from that wall, 4 tiles from that wall, and 4 tiles from that wall. So the floor will be blue, but there'll be a ring of that mosaic around the middle of the pool. And then again here, it'll be blue, the top 30 centimeters, then 1 row of the mosaic all the way around the edge of the pool that'll drop down. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But Rome and I are very happy. One, that we found actual pool tile, so we were worried about that. And then we like the colors, and we're going to get this stuff ordered. So you guys can see for the floor of the house, and this happens to be the main room. You can see they've been doing a lot of walking on the rebar and stone, and it doesn't look in too good a shape or ready to be poured. But take a look at one of the spare bedrooms. What they did is they went back in today and added some more gravel. So the larger gravel that you see there is under this smaller gravel. So it's 2 layers, so 1 large and then 1 small. Then they compacted it, and then they fixed the rebar and got it ready to be poured. So this room, which is one of the spare bedrooms, is ready to be poured. So here in the back corner, look at progress here in those last 2 panels. So they did all the dowels. They got the column pegged in, and they did a real nice job under difficult circumstances, hopping over this rock and coming down to meet this panel. So that's going to be the finished height, which is that's above my head quite a bit. It's almost 7 feet, and then 7 feet here, and then here's where it starts going up. And then remember the add-on, we're going to close this off. So there's going to be, once that column is poured, you know, they still got to pour that second column, they still got to pour the 3rd column. So they still have work to do here. But then they're going to be working on walling this off to go up to the 10-foot mark. And then there'll be a door here. So that's an add-on. So I'll let you know how much additional this is going to cost me, because this is not part of the original plan. All right, so the first bedroom cement floor is being poured today. So these guys go at it quick. So we broke for lunch, and then just like the other day with the pouring of the pool, the walls, they started the mixer, and I came up here, and they're already starting to put the cement in the floor. So they prepped the floor like I said in the previous clip, and now the guys are starting to throw in the cement. So here's Vince. I'll get out of the way, and again the same method, 1 bucket at a time. And then Jerry is in here. He just stepped out while I'm videoing, and he's smoothing everything out. They have their snap lines right here to make sure that the floor stays level. And they're pouring 4 inches, so you can see their snap line right there. And they're doing this pretty quick. This is about 30 minutes, and I guess it's about halfway done. So they're going to do this this floor today, and then you can see the thickness of the floor it's going to be 4 inches. So looking good. So in the front of the property here, you can see there's a lot of extra dirt that we don't need for the backfill of the fence. We're going to need some of it, but there's more than we need because we want to taper all the way around from Wilma's garden down for drainage. So we're not going to have it be level. It's going to taper. So all this dirt we're starting to collect today, and we're starting to backfill the pool. So you can see all the rocks that were all piled here for the longest time. We now brought them down and put them at the base of the pool, and then now we're going through and starting to pull that dirt up, and this is all going to get backfilled in over the next couple of days, and we're going to bring the dirt level up just above that blue pipe. So we don't want it to be obviously equal to the coping. We want to be, you know, several inches below the coping. So let's call it, you know, 3 or 4 inches below the coping, which will put it about maybe 2 inches above that blue pipe. So we're going to backfill to that level and then start tapering this down to the rock wall. So we may take some of this out and pull this way, because again, we want to be make sure that there's any rain that hits this side of the pool, you know, drains away and goes down, you know, the rock wall. So backfill starting to happen.